Hey guys, it's Scott here from Anime Blu-ray UK, and today I'll be unboxing the collector's edition Blu-ray release of Sword Art Online 2 Part 1, and this is the first print run edition which came with the collectible art box whereby you can fit all four future parts, or out now parts if you'd like, of Sword Art Online 2. So here we have the collectible box. So yeah, it still uses the similar reflective colour design that you see with all the other part releases that Sword Art Online 2 will use. So got the front cover with some pretty cool artwork on the front from the Gun Bullet or Phantom Bullet storyline arc. And then we've got the sticker at the bottom which has all of the information. So the front was part 1, box 1, episodes 1 to 7. The bottom of the box have got all the information such as the screenshots, synopsis and what's included, such as one Blu-ray, one DVD, English, Japanese, English subtitles. Oddly enough though, it does say that the DVD image ratio for DVD is 720p, which I think is a bit of a misprint, whereas the Blu-ray is 1080p. The back of the box has Kirito and is it Sinon? I know I've played the games, but I haven't actually watched Sword Art Online 2 yet, so forgive me if my knowledge is not fully up there. Also, the sticker continues around the back of the box to tell you what's included. So we've got the collector's packaging, a 52-page booklet, and all the usual on-disc extras that you'd come to expect from a DVD or Blu-ray release. Now, on the side is where you slot in all of the individual parts. So obviously, as this is part 1, it has part 1 there, and then there's a big massive spacer box whereby you can remove, and then you put parts 2, 3 and 4 in to give you the impression that you've got a complete series collection. On the spine, however, we have got a very small Sword Art Online 2 logo, which I believe it actually says Phantom Bullet art underneath it as well, which didn't notice before, but if it does, then that's a bit of a disappointment. But yeah, the idea of this box, which as I say was a first print run to I think about 1,000 units, maybe a bit more. Yeah, maybe, I think it was a bit more actually than 1,000 units. And basically the idea is you buy this and then the following parts, slot them all in, give the impression that you've got a complete series set, which is something that Manga Entertainment didn't do for the first season of Sword Art Online, but interestingly enough in Australia they did. Whereby in Australia that you got it was actually quite a thicker chipboard art box than what this one is, and you'd put all the individual standard Omare Blu-ray cases in. Yet again, gives you that impression. One side of the box would be from the first half of the season, and then the other side of the box was from the second half. Whereas I believe, I could be wrong because, like I say, I haven't actually watched Sword Art Online 2 yet. This entire box is just for the first Phantom Bullet arc, but it doesn't really matter because it looks great. Now you will notice that I'm actually being quite careful with unboxing this, and the reason behind that is when I first bought this set, which interestingly enough was from Zavvi, it arrived completely damaged and it felt really flimsy. So as I'm sort of unwrapping it, I make sure I'm not damaging the sticker that goes around it, because that's where all the information is. No idea why Anime Limited prefer these stickers to pieces of paper on the back, I don't know. But B, the box feels, the collectible box where you put your parts in, if you like, feels a bit weaker than your traditional chipboard art box that you get, say, from Funimation or from Australia. But that, for the time being, is all irrelevant. Now, once you've got the packaging off, you can just slide your part 1 release out, and then you've got the spacer box here, which is actually fully solid. You can open it up and you can use it. I mean, I'm going to use it to put the cellophane wrapper in from all of the volumes so I know where they all are, and then I'll just store that safely somewhere. But yeah, this is pretty much the art box. Yeah, again, has that reflective design, so even though it has really cool artwork, unless you're looking at it in a particular sunlight or angle, you won't always see the artwork itself. But anyway, let's move on to the product itself. So if you were fortunate enough to get the first print run edition of Sword Art Online 2 Part 1, this is how it will come to you, which you've got Sword Art Online 2 Arc 1 Phantom Bullet logo at the top, and at the top, which also says Collector's Edition Part 1 of 4. The bottom has no real, in a sense, information. It's just the Aniplex logo. And then the spine uses the traditional Anime Limited presentation that we've all become familiar with. And both sides have some pretty cool artwork from the series itself. And it's also worth mentioning that there's no BBFC logos or Anime Limited logos anywhere around the packaging other than those shown. Now, once we get the art box and the outer box out of the way, we have got the Digipack, which holds both the Blu-ray and DVD release of part 1. Now, as you'll probably notice, here we have the episode listings of what's included on them discs, but oddly enough, episode 6 is missing. So we've got episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a blank space for 6, and then there's episode 7. So I'm not entirely sure what happened there. Presumably a misprint by the designers. I'm not quite sure, but it is quite an amusing error to make, and something to not spot either, which is a bit weird. But moving aside, you get to the discs themselves once you've opened the Digipack, which just falls open, and both discs are exactly the same colour. So I'm not entirely sure what Anime Limited are thinking here. Usually the discs are a different colour. They are for future parts, or from part 3 onwards at least, so I'm not entirely sure why they are the same colour on this part 1 release, but I guess we'll never know unless someone asks. So maybe someone should go and ask. But yeah, they use the same style and presentation as what was used on Sword Art Online 1 series, whereby it has like a metallic stenciled in artwork, but it has all the information episode 1 to 7 on the disc. Moving aside from that, because I've spoken too much about the discs, we have the guidebook, which, as you can see as I'm flicking through here, gives you a rundown of like each episode of what's happening and some of the main highlights, selection of artwork and selection of character artwork. So it's a really cool book to flick through once you've watched the episodes contained within this part 1 release. Now, as with all Anime Limited releases, it can be quite difficult to get them back into the box without damaging the packaging, but luckily enough, on this particular release, the box is wide enough without any real trouble. Now, what I will say, and what I really don't like about this collector's edition release, is the fact that to put the parts in, you have to do this, which at the same time the contents fall out the chipboard box on the inside. So yeah, it's a bit weird really. You can't just slot them in and job done. They can sometimes fall out. And like I'm demonstrating here, if you have got the other parts, you can just slot them in one by one, and then it'll give you the complete series impression. So that's pretty much what you can expect from the first print run edition of Sword Art Online 2 Part 1.